2003 was the first year of Mwai Kibaki's presidency. It was a year the new National Rainbow Coalition, NARC government, tried to put as much distance as possible between itself and the policies and practice of the previous Kenya African National Union, KANU regime. On January 3rd, Kibaki announced his cabinet, appointing Kijana Wamalwa of Ford Kenya vice president. He made Raila Odinga, now head of the Liberal Democratic Party, LDP, Minister for Roads, Public Works and Housing. He gave Charity Ngilu, of the Social Democratic Party, the health docket. And he made KANU's former Vice President George Saitoti, Minister for Education, Science and Technology. Not everyone in Kibaki's coalition was happy with the composition of the new NARC government. Some LDP members thought their party had been shortchanged and accused Kibaki of having broken a pre-election memorandum of understanding about the split of cabinet posts amongst coalition partners. The differences would, however, not derail the government from addressing reform issues. Almost the first item on Kibaki's agenda, that he announced when he opened Parliament on February 18th, was war on corruption. On February 24th, he ordered a fresh probe into a mega financial scandal involving the Goldenberg Company that had cost the country billions of shillings during the regime of his predecessor, Daniel Arap Moi. Kibaki set up a commission headed by Court of Appeal Justice Samuel Bosire to look into the matter afresh. That same week, Kibaki appointed another Court of Appeals Justice, Evan Gisheru, to take over from Chief Justice Bernard Chunga, who had been forced to resign following allegations of corruption. It turned out that there were more than a dozen such bad eggs in the judiciary. Judge after judge stepped down rather than be dragged through a tribunal especially set up to deliberate on charges of corruption levelled against judges. Those charges had been looked into by a special team headed by Justice Hilary Ng'weno, who, upon submitting his final report, was later appointed head of the newly formed Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission. The Constitution of Kenya Review Commission, chaired by Yashpal Gai, did not resume its work until August. By that time, the discord within the ruling NARC party was out in the open. And by then too, some of NARC's new dream was beginning to fade. True, the government had announced it would provide free primary school education beginning the 2004 school year. But elsewhere, its promises remained just that, promises. Weeks went by and nothing seemed to be happening that would translate the pledge of 500,000 jobs and 100,000 housing units into reality. And 100 days into Kibaki's presidency, there was still no new constitution. For NARC, the situation did eventually get out of hand, but Wamalwa would not be there to see the end of the party's dream. He died in a London hospital on August 23rd, aged 60. And to replace him, Kibaki chose another Luya, but one belonging to Raila Odinga's Liberal Democratic Party, not Wamalwa's Ford Kenya. 76-year-old Minister for Home Affairs, Mudi Awori. Awori would now be charged with a double task: to bring unity back to NARC and to lead the President's troops at the Constitutional Review Conference that was going on at the Bomas of Kenya in Nairobi. That conference ended in September, with the delegates agreeing on a hybrid system of government where a president would share power with a prime minister. In sports that year, Paul Tergat set a new men's marathon record at Berlin when he covered the distance in 2 hours, 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Robert Cheruiyot won the Boston Men's Marathon. And Martin Lell and Margaret Okayo won the New York Men's and Women's Marathons. 2003 was the year Kenyans bade farewell to Roman Catholic Maurice Cardinal Otunga. Former Kitutu East MP George Anyona. Former freedom fighter Sarah Sarai. Former head of the International Center for Insect Physiology and Ecology, ICIPE, Professor Thomas Odhiambo. Naivasha MP Paul Kahara. Minister of State for Public Service Geoffrey Parpai, and Labour Minister Ahmed Khalif, who died in a plane crash in Busia.